Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's episode of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to hang with me a little bit and check the video out. I always appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about fishing the Shad Rap in the summertime of the year, which is not known for a summertime crankbait. Everybody that has been bass fishing, or if you're new to the channel and you're just getting started in fishing, a Shad Rap is notoriously a cold water crankbait. It's a pre-spawn crankbait. That's where it's gained its fame. But guys, this is one of my favorite crankbaits in the summertime of the year when it gets really hot under the right circumstances. So I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on how to catch fish on Shad Rap in the summertime. And also guys, I will link it in the description of my Tackle Warehouse links, the Shad Raps, if you guys would like to pick one up after you see the video. I think you're going to want to after you hear it. Okay, if you're not familiar with it, I think, you know, everybody that follows bass fishing knows that Rick Clunn won the Bassmaster Classic 4 times, and he won it in 1984 down at Pine Bluff, Arkansas in August. And if you've ever been to Pine Bluff, Arkansas in August, it is, the heat is oppressive. It's unbelievable. And the last day of the tournament, Rick caught the biggest stack of the tournament, 27 pounds, on this Shad Rap, cranking shallow ledges there at the Arkansas River. He had been catching them on a Bomber Model A, but he switched to the Shad Rap, which is a silent, quiet bait, and caught the bigger ones that last day. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about scenarios and situations where the Shad Rap works. Now, a lot of people equate the Shad Rap as a clear water, sort of cold water bait, which it is. It works good. You know, I usually put like a little lead strip on it in cold water. But in the summertime of the year, when those fish get lethargic and they're a little bit more difficult to catch, you know, it's the dog days of summer. Guys, this is one of my favorite crankbaits, and I fish it in off-colored water. You wouldn't think that it would work. So many people out there in the summertime of the year, it's all about square bill crankbaits. They fish square bill crankbaits and, you know, a little bit wide wobblers and, you know, a little bit louder crankbaits like the Bandit 200s. But if you're in a situation where you have water visibility sort of in that 1 to 2 foot range, stained, and you've got some type of rock cover, it could be a rocky bank, it could be gravel, clay, it could be riprap banks, anything like that. But the combination of rock cover in off-color dirty water, they will bite this Shad Rap big time. And I think a lot of it has to do with it's a very subtle, silent bait. So wood bait, doesn't make any noise, there's no rattles in it, it's got a tight wobble, and it's just a really subtle presentation in that shallower, dirty, off-colored water. One of the things you're going to find out about bass fishing, and we talk a lot here, it's like you can sort of have a game plan on what you think is going to work, and there's sort of some things that hold true in fishing, but a lot of times it just doesn't make sense. Like, why is, you know, like in the summertime of the year, those square bill crankbaits that have a wide swing and they've got rattles in them and they make noise, why does that work good in the summertime? And then also the quiet, silent bait. A lot of it has to do with the fish get conditioned and the fact that fish it's about their mood and their personality. One of the things you'll find out about summertime bass fishing is I have always thought that the fish like a little bit smaller, subtler presentation. So if I'm pitching and flipping, I go to smaller creature baits and smaller worms, that type of stuff. I go to smaller crankbaits usually in the summertime. Even on my square bills, I'm usually down to a 1.5 size. And I think that's one of the reasons they bite the Shad Rap so good, because this number 7 Shad Rap here, it's about 2.5 inches long. And like I said, it's subtle and it's quiet. And in that shallow, dirty water, I just think that's a lot more appealing to them. It matches their mood and their personality and their temperament a little bit better. But anyway, I usually fish it like on 12 to 15 pound test fluorocarbon line, rocky banks, and most of the time I'm making short casts. You know, since the water's off colored, I want to make that short, accurate cast. And I want to always be hitting the bottom, so I'm going to be targeting that water depth of about 2 to 4 foot for the most part. So if you've never tried it before, guys, and you got some conditions in the lake that you have, pick up a couple Shad Raps there, Tackle Warehouse link in the description. This is my favorite color. This is sort of that creamy shad looking one. I've also done okay on the black and silver, which is one of my all-time favorites, but it seems like this creamy looking shad color has been my #1 producer, you know, in the summertime of the year. So another thing with that, I'll tell you one way you can gain some confidence in this is if you're catching some fish on a crankbait, shallow, like on a square bill or bandit or whatever you're throwing, and you know there's some fish using that water, just tie on a Shad Rap and see. Most of the time, if they quit biting one type of crankbait and you go to the silent model, you can keep catching them after that. So anyway, I hope it helps out, guys, and we'll talk later.